Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer, and we are manifesting total knowledge of God level power, moon in Aquarius, sun in Capricorn, God level, of course, referring to the collectives. Let me give an explanation. Your individuality represents the singular aspect and nature of you, representing you and only you. Of course, we know illusion is a separation. So you are wrapped up into a collective. And as science, not that, hold on, first of all, not that conventional science, because there's science, which some people look at me as spiritual, some people look at me as like faith healer. I'm a shaman, but I'm a scientist first. Like, astrology is not spirituality, it's science. Every time you kind of make astrology something to be mystical or spiritual, you're just kind of dumbing it down. It is expressly a science. You can use this spiritually. You'll see me tie in a lot of spiritual themes, but you know, I don't want to make there be an emphasis of everything having to align by conventional science, because conventional science is bullshit. Most conventional science is fake. It's worldly wisdom. It's theoretical. It doesn't acknowledge spirit and soul. It's materialist reductionist. Then you have science. Science, which the ancients called magic. Science is strictly a body of knowledge. That's it. You can have a science of ghosts. You can have a science of penises, vaginas. You can have a science of spirituality. Anything that you can gain a body of knowledge of, you can gain a science. And that's what makes science Aquarian. Okay? Research methods and analysis is Virgo. And experimentation is Gemini. But science, that's Aquarius. It's Aquarian, epistemology, the nature of knowledge, also Aquarian. So this moon in Aquarius is having you literally understand the science and the knowledge behind power that you're manifesting. Anyway, conventional science is starting to catch up to through quantum mechanics and whatnot. And not all conventional science is bullshit. If you're in a scientific community, it won't be common to see most scientists saying this, criticizing other people's findings. It's a good thing. Iron sharpens iron. You'll see over time, people constantly scoff at the discoveries of old because we learn and gain new discoveries. So you kind of want to see something like that. But regardless, you see reports and theories about the cells within your body mirroring that the stars up in the sky, and it gives you the impression that maybe just like your cells are little organisms as a part of one body, you could be a cell as a part of one God body. That's the collective. Okay, so you have the superhumans, right? If individuals are human level, then that's Aries, that's Taurus, that's Gemini, that's Cancer, right? You have originality, the spark of God in human form, Aries, and then you have, of course, natural connoisseur, Taurian energy, where you are naturally good at things, and you come into enlightenment, enlightened human personality, Gemini, and then you come into the beginning of metahuman individuality, the beginning of superpowers, Cancer, intuition, psychic ability. Then we start to go superhuman, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and of course Scorpio. This is where we can say Leo and Libra are heroes. They integrate their individuality to now socialize and share their talents towards others. These people are now, unlike the individuals, more outer focused. They're not more selfish. They cooperate with other people, yada yada yada. And then you have the God level, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, God level, because whereas the first four are individual and the next four are social, the last four are collective. Just like a government Capricorn authority that has different individuals representing different social mores as collective representatives for an entire country. Collective power, Capricorn, collective magic, Sagittarius and Pisces, and collective strength and knowledge, Aquarius, represent the final four levels of God: the eyes of God, Sagittarius, the power of God, Capricorn, the mind of God, Aquarius, and of course the soul of God, or the belief of God, Pisces, the imagination. So with that being said, now that we are starting this cycle, This is the second collective cycle we're starting. Okay, the first one was Sagittarius to kick in the godly vision. Now you are manifesting this vision in the form of a god body, the skeletal structure, and systematic control of Saturn that seeks to control and organize them as a unit. It's a lot of complex stuff, and I have less than 10 minutes to say this transit, so I won't say too much. But if you are a subscribed member, I will be doing the extended moon message tomorrow, if not today. So subscribe if you're not. I'm going to go in. I'm going to make sure that's going to be a live. If you're not a member, the live will be up tomorrow, if not today. And I'll just, go in an hour to really explain to you why right now you are very, in an uncannily sense, more than ever, gaining very detailed, advanced knowledge of what God level powers you are manifesting. Manifesting meaning that you have already done them with the activation, and as you're strengthening what you're doing, you're coming into knowledge. You want to think of it like a download pack, because the moon Saturn of totality, Aquarius of knowledge, is giving you understanding moon of the totality Saturn of knowledge, Aquarius. See how simple that is? Now square Uranus, this unconventionality Uranus of physiology and five senses, Taurus, is taking this knowledge you're downloading, and the clash is how you embody that knowledge for it to enhance your senses, as you will start to know things that were always present, but that understanding of knowledge gives you more awareness, incredible Capricorn awareness of what direction to take this understanding of knowledge. Your second house to the sun, Taurus signature manifesting is. And the reason why that's amazing is for those of you who've kept with your vision, that influence with the square to Uranus is a hyper acceleration of starting to see things manifest so quickly. You have to adjust how you adapt to this. Okay, so this is going to be a great initial breakthrough for you to see more evidence of your manifestations come in before the moon goes into Gemini and integrates this intellectually, which will change your ideas about how to live your life with these manifestations. Actually, fully expect the totality of your manifestations to come in because of Saturn here too. And it's going to shock some of you with that Uranus square, because maybe you might have underestimated the strength and power that you've been charging. But regardless of all that, the moon makes a sextile to Jupiter and Aries right out the gate, and that is expanding the understanding of knowledge that you're stepping into this with, especially if some of you are doing too much. Because you remember Taurus signature transits, and a second house like this is also helping you understand the knowledge of your value relative to this higher conscious that you're stepping forward into. And so some of you might be doing too much. Some of you feel like you have to do too much to gain value and worth when you've already done more than enough. And this is going to let you know where to fall back or do more that you have to, relative to the knowledge you're receiving. Powerful knowledge, by the way, which we have to kind of embrace, because now the sun is 12th house to the moon, and this is transcending the function of how you act incredibly, because now you're gaining real-time knowledge. Okay, for those of you who've wanted more concrete understanding of how to utilize these abilities, that's going to be next week, Moon in Gemini. But this is going to be the knowledgeable understanding and framework to pretty much, by the moon goes into Pisces, already start practicing things. Because this is the best analogy to use the phone again. New moon in Capricorn is the hardware. You started a new hardware, computer, phone. Now you're downloading the operating system. And so the clash is, are you going to stick with the false narratives that you're stuck with and told to believe? Or with the moon square Uranus, are you going to jailbreak your phone? Because this new moon in Capricorn is now the new hardware that is an analogy for your new superpowers. The operating system is, of course, the programming in your neural pathways that allows you to operate this hardware. Now, are you going to jailbreak your phone? Because you're not a bitch and you're not someone who's told what to believe, and you want freedom, right? I assume you want to have the liberation to at least download whatever apps you want. Because if you don't get this jailbreak, there's only a certain number of apps you can get. Apps that kind of elude you to the truth away from these false narratives, they won't even let you download. You know what it is. So you can get the jailbreak. The jailbreak is called the fuck it system. So if you have an iOS, you can download iOS fuck it. You know the drill. If you have a PlayStation, that's PlayStation fuck it. Because fuck it all, man. Like, we don't really need to give in to this bullshit that most is really just a distraction from the journey within that you are completing more than ever. You also want to keep in mind the collective awakening of these abilities within everyone is also going to bring greater waves of backlash with most of these authority figures who are occultists. They will hide that. They'll kind of tease it a little bit, but they're all occultists. Whether they have astrologers of their own or whatever, like the frequencies they're emitting just to suppress your abilities aren't going to be working, because these people have severely underestimated your potential, and they had an idea of what you're going to awaken and how they can suppress it, but your awakening is breaking past their suppression tactics, and now they're having to readjust to hit you harder, but you're just going to awaken harder. So with that being said, don't be surprised if you start seeing very crazy supernatural expressions of your abilities in the most subtle ways. In light of synchronization, that you'll come into more knowledge of how this process is unfolding. But this is also going to be a great period to overturn a lot of the doubt and the hatred or the negativity against you, because there's never anyone who ever projected hatred towards you, which is why you can never take it seriously. Because at best, someone is just projecting their insecurity on their idea of you. So it can't even hit you. That exists only in their head. If there was any realness to it, they would have approached you with integrity, but their lack of ability to do so means that is beneath you. And every time you try and activate that conflict, you're lessening yourself. That's why I don't feel good. Okay? Forget the society that has embraced all these backward notions of culture. You don't have to be a part of the majority. It is okay to have unpopular opinions. It's okay to be different. That's what Aquarius will always teach you. But what you're manifesting is not only this understanding of knowledge of power, but literal superpowers. This is actually the transit that has you bring this in. And then the moon in Pisces, you're going to practice it before the moon is in Gemini, and you practice the integration of it. So we're operating this system, and then the moon in Pisces is the software that you're going to download. So what apps are you going to download? The apps are magical abilities. The apps you download with the moon in Pisces will change your belief of your power, because you're seeing experience of, oh shit, my powers are working. That's going to, moon in Pisces, change your belief in what's possible, lead into the first quarter square in Aries, and you'll start to see the seeds you sowed new moon grow out the ground. That will let you know what you're growing and how to identify with this new power. So for those of you who, you know what I'm saying, we've had a transit like this every year. So this isn't the first time you're understanding the knowledge of God level power, but this is the first time you're understanding the knowledge of God level power relative to Pluto getting ready to leave Capricorn and enter Aquarius, and Jupiter that has finally finished its cycle in Pisces, 12 years worth of evolution. And so this is taking things to a next level that increases the effectivity of your utilization in the most unconventional and supernatural of ways. Fixed signs are all about energy harnessing. And Aquarius is cosmic energy that with the moon, you'll understand how to channel in order to strengthen and charge. Think of this as charging power that you have activated. And there's nothing you have to do but just go within, receive, and listen, because you already have the knowledge. You just got to access it. Godspeed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The sextile to Chiron is going to break you through insecurities in your character, because you'll now be backed with the understanding of knowledge, which will trigger more activation and expression of your abilities. So have fun with this, but be prepared to come into some profound knowledge. You might have thought you knew a lot about what you've awakened to, but it's still all just the beginning. And you'll be very delighted to know there's so much more. Okay, so, many of you are limitless. I don't want you to expect an end to this. Just enjoy the journey. And feel free to comment below what you're manifesting. What knowledge are you manifesting? Okay, what power are you manifesting knowledge of? This is going to be very exciting because for so many of you, you might have been in the dark or you may have just needed a breakthrough. This is going to be one of them.